We got a lockdown coming again. I'm so mad about this lockdown. I'm so depressed. I can't do another lockdown. We've grown. This show has grown tremendously. We've made a lot of fun shit. We've had a lot of great episodes here. But I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I need to leave my fucking house. I need to get out there and have experiences with human beings. And this lockdown, this draconian, I mean, the news every day now is like, every news article now is like, everyone you know has COVID.
Right.
That's the article. Mm-hmm. They're like, everyone you know has COVID and every nurse you knew has killed herself. How do you feel? What? Did you go out the other night and have meatloaf? Yeah. Well, there's nurses hanging themselves now. Why? Because you had a meatloaf. I had it in a parking lot. Doesn't matter. You knew the risks. And now everyone has COVID and all the nurses are killing themselves in front of their children. What? But it's their job. I mean, shouldn't they just go to work? People are. There's one thing where they go like this. They go. They're putting. And there's a hospital in El Paso, Texas, where a nurse goes, "We have a room called the Pit where we let all the COVID patients die." I'm like, why is that happening? Why are we doing that? Why is that allowed? Everybody's like, I feel so bad. Have you read the article about the pit? And I'm like, I want to know why there is a pit. Why are we putting people in a pit? Can anyone explain that? You went out in that tuna tartare, and now they're throwing human beings in the pit in El Paso. What? I don't want that. I'm losing it, folks. I'm losing it. I just took Ben to a Bentley dealership. I don't have the money to buy a Bentley. Those cars are $300,000. Thank God. And I don't have credit. I can't do anything. But we just walked around a Bentley dealership. Thank God it was closed. But I'm losing my mind here because I want to buy a Bentley and drive it through the ER at Cedars-Sinai. I want to drive my Bentley through the pit. Give everybody a glimpse of a nice car before the end. It's tragic. I know this shit's real. It's fucking hard. It's horrible reading these stories. People FaceTiming their loved ones at the end. How horrible is that? FaceTime doesn't even work. You got your last words and they're freezing.
You're trying to connect to the Wi-Fi.
You're trying to hey, can you connect me to the Wi-Fi in the pit? The Wi-Fi in the pit is not good. I'm trying to talk to my mother. Ma, I'm in the pit. You shouldn't have gone out to dinner last night, you selfish cunt. What? I froze. I said cunt. I called you a cunt. I mean, what are we doing here?
Oh, man.
It's tragic and it's real. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so sad. People they got to go on FaceTime to say goodbye to their fucking families. Let the family in. If I go from COVID, I want my family in that room getting sick with me. No FaceTime. I want my boomer father to walk in there maskless and get sick. I'm having a party in 2 days. I feel like an idiot. It's going to be outside, but that doesn't fucking matter. You know? I think people are going to try to social distance. I mean, if the Nelk boys come, I don't know how much social distancing there's going to be.
Right.
They're just going to go around and lick people's faces like the Bushwhackers. Remember the Bushwhackers, that tag team in WWF? Well, my listeners do. And they would grab your face and lick you when you were just there, and it was great. And that's what the Nelk kids are going to do. Steve will do it. He's going to run around licking people's faces if they come. I just don't know. I'm trying to laugh at all the news. It's so bad. I don't even know what's now. My friend Vanessa, I'm the godfather to her child. I'm like, is the COVID that bad? She's like, not really, but she's a sociopath. I mean, she's a nurse, but she's like Nurse Ratchet. You know, she goes, I got to go to work tomorrow, and I hate the liver patients. I'm like, what? She goes, I hate them. She goes, when a heroin addict gets a new liver, they're real, she goes, they're real paranoid and anxious, and they're not fun to deal with. I'm like, why are we giving heroin addicts new livers? I'm confused about everything. I just need to buy a Bentley. I just need to buy a gown on the cover of Vogue to break out of the I don't like being a man no more. Well, you buy a muumuu like the rest of us because we're broke. I only want a gown like Harry Styles is wearing. I wear Lane Bryant, Tom. We have nothing in this house. I have 3 pairs of jeans, and they're all elastic band. I have 3 dresses, and the last one I wore was when we had to go to court for your accident. I want a Christian Dior gown. What is wrong with these people? Can't sound like these people are out of their minds. They're destroying masculinity. How about they're destroying masculinity by no one has a job? How about that? How about they're destroying masculinity? No one can go to work. They're not destroying masculinity because there's a dude in Ohio right now that's like, I want to get Gucci fucking Croc sandals and walk around in a caftan and wear big fucking Chanel sunglasses in Palm Springs. Destroying masculinity, nobody can provide for their family. That used to be masculinity, providing for your family. I just love a guy like literally sitting there with his wife and going, I feel like I'm in a prison of gender. And she goes, I understand that, but you can't afford to go buy a gown that this boy band member wore on the cover of Vogue. It's expensive. John, it's very expensive. And he's like, you don't understand. My whole life, I felt like one thing and I was another thing. She goes, I don't care what you fucking feel like, but you go to Payless and get some pumps and you go to fucking get a cheap dress from the Goodwill because you don't got no scratch, John. All day we got to do the destruction of masculinity. And all these guys from Long Island are getting on board about, the guys that have never served in a war, and yet their fucking Facebook profile picture is Semper Fi.
Right.
They're a military adjacent.
Right.
Everyone in Long Island has 9 flags on their lawn. They've never served one day. They've never even helped an old person cross the street, let alone served anybody. They've never served anything except they've served themselves a drink. That's all they've ever served. And they're getting online. They're like, thank God Candace is calling out these fucking fags trying to make me wear a fucking dress. Go to work. You can't do that because everybody's in the pit. We are, all these hospitals, we've had 9 months to get ready for the second wave. Why is there no preparedness? There's been 8 months. We knew the second wave was coming.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. It's like if you're in the ocean and one wave knocks you down, you stand up and you go, oh, you know what? I bet another wave is coming and it's going to hit me the same way, maybe even worse. If you keep getting knocked down by the same wave, and you see kids that keep getting knocked down by the same wave, there's a term for that. It's called drowning, and they need to be taken out by a lifeguard. But if you're an adult, you should have some semblance. Like, why have we not prepared for this? Nobody's prepared. I don't understand. Can someone help me here? Why are we still throwing bodies in a pit? Oh, God. I mean, it's crazy. There's all these nurses that are on Facebook, and the nurse will be like this. The nurse goes, I can't go on like this. Today, I came in, and they didn't have any PPE. I had to wear the skin of someone who died last night. They fashioned a mask out of their face. I'm walking around with someone else's face on, and we can't even treat any of these people. We're stacking bodies in the parking lot and lighting them on fire. And I go, okay, hold on a minute. Didn't we know this was coming a little bit? Wasn't that the differential here? Wasn't the differential that we were going to prepare a little bit for this one? Mm-hmm. Well, the hospital decided that we weren't. Does no one have money? Are there no resources? Is there no tax base? I get it. Maybe that's the problem. Everyone's talking about the relief bill that's like not coming. If I see, by the way, and I love comedy, and I mean, how many times am I going to say that? And Ben just looks at me like, we know that that's not true. Because as soon as I say that, I'm going to go off on this rant where I like disparage everything about it. But I understand it's important to save like independent venues. I get it. That's my life.
Yes,
I'm not saying that. But if I see one more time, save our stages. If I see that one more time, 2 things down on the news feed after someone's talking about something called the pit, where they're just throwing bodies throwing people in a room to die in El Paso. By the way, does that have anything to do with Corona, or is that just the way the El Paso hospital works? Right. They go, we've had the pit forever. We put you in the pit. If you look even slightly sick, you go in the pit. And if you get out of it, you get out of it. I mean, what's next? They're going to come out and they're going to be like, there's a fight club of corona patients. We're making them fight it out for ventilators. Are you happy now? Are you happy? We're making people fight each other and the winner gets a ventilator. I'm like, is there no planning? Has no one done any planning, folks? I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. It's ravaging the nation now, and I guess it's ravaging the small town hospitals because the larger cities have more of a tax base. Mm-hmm. Say what you want about these satanic pedophiles, but some of them paid taxes.